This is a standing body mindfulness exercise. We will be practicing mindfulness while we are assuming various postures from a standing position. We will be exploring the sensations that we feel in each posture. Through this, we will be developing flexibility and mastery in our practice of mindfulness. Each pose will be held for about the time it takes to take 6 deep breaths. As I go through this, I am mindful of the limits of my body. If pain or something else causes me to feel like I can't go on, that's okay. I stop, or I can take a break and resume. I can also make adjustments to my body so that I can come back within its limits. If I feel comfortable enough to be with these sensations, then I don't try to change them. I explore them mindfully, without judgment, and with curiosity. And if I notice that my attention starts to wander, then I just gently bring my attention back to my body without any judgment. Let's begin. I am standing tall and erect, with my shoulders wide and my hands to the side, and my head feels balanced on my neck. My palms are facing forward, and I focus on my breath, and I focus on the way my body feels. From the top of my head down to the bottom of my feet, I take a moment to notice any sensations that I might have. If they are within the limits of what my body can tolerate, I let myself be with them. I don't try to change these sensations, and I don't judge them as good or bad. Just neutral is okay too. Now I raise both of my arms and extend my hands out towards my side. I keep my back erect, and I notice how this feels. I feel some tension in my shoulders probably, and I notice a change in my neck. And I let myself be with these sensations as I can tolerate them, or I can make some adjustments here and there. And I let myself breathe comfortably as I observe my body in this posture. And from there, I raise my arms directly up so that they are beside my ears, and my fingers are pointed up at the ceiling. And I hold this position as I breathe comfortably. And I notice a change in sensations. It'll probably be in my shoulders, my neck, my upper back, or I might notice something lower down as well. And I let myself be with these sensations. And now I lower my right arm down to my side to its original position, and I maintain my left arm extended up at the sky, more or less beside my ear. And I notice a difference in the way that one side feels compared to the other as I maintain this pose. I don't judge it, and I don't try to change it. I just let myself experience it and be with it. Now I lower my raised arm to my side and I raise my lowered arm up into the sky. And I notice the way this feels in my shoulder or in my hands, in my back or my neck. How it feels different from one side to the other. And I'm breathing comfortably during this time. And I just let myself be with my body and the way it feels. And for the next pose, I take my arm that's up in the air in the hand and I let it gradually cross over the top of my head and across over my other shoulder as far as I can go relatively comfortably. And I hold that pose. And I have my arm that's at my side stay there. And I notice how this feels again in the various parts of my body that are involved. My shoulder, my arm, my neck, my upper and lower back, and the side that doesn't have any tension at all. I notice how that feels as well. And I'm taking natural, comfortable breaths as I'm doing this. And I'm allowing myself to just be with my sensations. And now I come back to an erect posture and I bring both of my arms up into the air. My fingers are pointed straight up at the sky. And then I lean over to the other side and I bring that arm, that hand over my head and across over my other shoulder, and I bring that hand that was up previously down to my side and I relax that shoulder and arm. And I notice how this feels in my arms, in my hands, my shoulders, my neck, my upper and lower back. And I'm breathing comfortably and naturally as I do this. And I let myself be with my body and the way it feels. And I bring my arms and my hands down again to my very first position when I started this exercise. And I take a moment to notice how this feels again in the various parts of my body. I've been using my shoulders a lot, and my hands on my neck and my upper back. And notice how this feels. Next, I'm going to shrug my shoulders and try to bring them as close to my ears as possible. And I maintain this pose, and I notice how this feels in the various parts of my body, my shoulders and my neck and my back. And I breathe comfortably and naturally as I let myself be with my body and its sensations in this position. And next, I'm going to bring my shoulders down, and I'm going to try to bring them as close together as I can in front of my chest. My palms will be facing forward, and I hold this pose. I'm breathing naturally and comfortably, and I notice the sensations that I have. Again, my shoulders will be feeling most of it, but also my hands and my elbow, my neck, my back, maybe even my legs. And now I bring my shoulders just directly down, somewhere in between my chest and my back, just directly down. And I notice how this feels. My palms are facing forward if I can do that. And I'm breathing naturally and comfortably. And I notice the way it feels. There's probably less tension in my shoulders and back since I'm not trying to bring my shoulders together in front of my chest. And now I take my shoulders and I bring them behind me and I try to bring them together as close as they can be while they're behind my back. And my palms are facing forward and I'm breathing comfortably and naturally. And I notice the way this feels. There's more tension than there was in the last position. And of course, I'm respecting my body's limits, so if this is too uncomfortable to keep, I make adjustments. And now I bring my shoulders back into a neutral position where they're comfortable, with my palms facing forward, and I bring my chin close to my chest. I don't have to try to touch my chin to my chest, just some tension so that I can notice the sensation and the difference from a erect, upright position. And I take natural, comfortable breaths as I notice how this feels in my shoulders and my back, my fingers, my legs. And I bring my chin back up and I roll my head over my left shoulder. And I find a spot where I feel some tension and I don't feel too uncomfortable, and I maintain that. My shoulders are relatively relaxed at this point, and I breathe comfortably and naturally, and I notice how this feels on one side of my neck and the other side of the neck, the front and the back of the neck, my shoulders, the other parts of my body. And now I roll my head over my other shoulder, my right shoulder. My palms are facing forward. My shoulders are relatively relaxed. And I notice how this feels in all the parts of my neck. And I breathe comfortably and naturally. And I make myself aware of the sensations and I let myself be with them. And I bring my head back to the middle and I tilt my chin slightly up. Again, my shoulders are relatively relaxed and my palms are facing forward. And I'm breathing comfortably and naturally. And I'm with my body and I notice any sensations or lack of sensations. I come back to my starting pose with my body neutral. I bring my arms up shoulder high with my hands and fingers pointed directly out to my left and right. And my arms and my shoulders are aligned like a pole. And I raise my right leg off the ground to the side and I balance on my left foot. This might be a little difficult, so I'm careful not to fall. I'm careful to bring my right foot back down to regain my balance if I need to, and I let myself do this as often as I need. And if it's beyond my limit to lift my right foot up to the side, I can lift it just directly up. And I maintain this pose with my arms and shoulders aligned, and I notice tension in the various parts of my body while I am in this pose. In my shoulders and my elbows, my legs, my knees. And I notice a sensation of balance, or maybe the lack of balance. I am especially mindful of not being judgmental during this pose because it can be challenging. And I bring my right foot to the ground, and then I raise my left foot into the air to the side, and I balance on my right foot. And again, I notice the sense of balance, or what it feels like to be out of balance. And I notice how it feels in my ankles and my knees, even my thighs. And this can be tricky, but I am not judgmental about how I'm doing. And I continue to breathe naturally and comfortably. And when I'm ready, I bring both feet back to the ground and bring my arms and hands to my side, standing tall, resuming my initial starting pose. Now I put my hands on my waists and I am mindful to keep my feet and knees pointed forward. And then I twist my torso clockwise so that my left shoulder is pointing directly ahead of me in the same direction as my knees and my feet. And then I twist my neck further so that it feels like I'm trying to look over my right shoulder. And I twist as much as I can, but only as much as the limits of my body will let me, and I respect that. And I notice how it feels in various places, the twisted parts of my body and the relaxed parts of my body. And I let myself be with that sensation. And I'm breathing comfortably and naturally as I do all of this. I then gradually rotate my body in the other direction. I twist so that my right shoulder points forward like my knees and feet, and my head is turned so that it feels like I'm looking over my left shoulder. Again, as I do all this, I'm respecting the limits of my body, and I notice the sensations I have in this position, all the while breathing comfortably and naturally. Next, I bring myself back so that I'm facing forward, and I bring both of my arms up to about shoulder height with my hands and fingers pointed directly ahead of me. And with my feet and knees pointed ahead of me, I bend my knees slightly so that I'm squatting a little bit, so that it looks like my behind is resting on an invisible high chair or stool, and I hold this position. Again, I am respecting the limits of my body, so I make a pose that I can maintain, or I can go in and out of this pose. And I am breathing comfortably and naturally, and I'm noticing the tension in my knees and my thighs and ankles, my shoulders and arms. And now I straighten my legs and I bend over my torso so that I'm bowing my body. And I bring my arms and hands directly down so that I am trying to touch my toes. Again, I am respecting the limits of my body, so I only go as far down as I feel like I can. And I am breathing comfortably and naturally, and I'm not judging myself for whatever I can or can't do, good or bad. And I'm noticing the tension in the parts of my body. I notice how some places feel relaxed and other places feel tense or stretched. And when I feel ready, I stand back up in an erect position and I bring my hands down to my sides. And now I take my right foot and I lift it off the ground and I place the bottom of that foot against the inner side of my left knee so that my right knee is pointed out directly to my right. And I'm balancing on my left foot. And then I bring the palms of my two hands together over the center of my chest. Elbows are pointed out to the left and right. And I maintain this pose, being careful not to fall over or hurt myself and respecting the limits of my body. It's okay to bring my foot down to regain my balance and bring it back up. You can do that as many times as you want or need. And I feel the tension in the various places where there might be some tension or stretching in my hips and my knees and my ankles in particular. And I notice how I have achieved balance, or what I have to do to maintain balance, or that lack of balance. And when I am ready, I bring both feet back to the ground, and then I raise my left foot and place the bottom of that foot against the inner side of my right knee, with my left knee pointed out to my left side. And I maintain my hands with the palms together and the elbows out, and I maintain that. And I breathe naturally and comfortably, and I notice the sensations that I have in the various parts of my body. And again, it's okay to bring my foot down and regain my balance. I respect the limits of my body. And when I am ready, I bring both feet down and I stand erect, and I bring my hands to my sides. And now I widen my stance. My feet and my knees are still pointed ahead of me, but my feet are further apart. And I bring my arms up to shoulder height, and they're pointing directly out to my left and right, and they are aligned. And with my arms in that position, I bend my right waist and I come over it so that my left arm is pointed directly up at the sky, and my right hand I'm trying to bring to my right foot. Again, my arms and my shoulders should be aligned. I can change the width of my stance as needed. And this pose can be difficult, so we don't have to judge how we're doing. We respect the limits of our body, and we are breathing naturally and comfortably. And we're noticing the sensations that we have. Perhaps it's in our back, particularly in our lower back and in our shoulders. And I try to see if there's a relaxed part of my body anywhere. And when I'm ready, I bring my torso back up and erect again with my arms stretched out to my sides and aligned. And then I bend my waist on the other side so that my right hand and arm are pointed up in the air, and my left hand is trying to touch my left foot. And I'm mindful to keep my arms straight and aligned. And I can adjust my stance as necessary. I'm respecting the limits of my body, breathing comfortably and naturally, and noticing the sensations in my body and being with them. And I notice how different parts of my body are having different sensations this time. And when I'm ready, I bring my body back up into an erect position, and I bring my feet together and my hands to my side. Next, with my left foot, I take a step forward, and with my right foot, I let that foot take a step backwards. And then I bend my left knee and straighten my right leg behind me. And I can widen this stance. I can bring my left foot further forward or my right foot further back, and I go as low as I can. And then from the sides, I bring my arms up in the air so that they're aligned with my ears, and my fingers are pointed directly up at the sky. And I maintain this pose, and I'm breathing comfortably and naturally. And I'm also respecting the limits of my body. If I feel unbalanced, I can change things so that it does feel balanced. If I can't bring both arms up right now, then I can bring up one or no arms at all. And I notice the sensations in the different parts of my body, in my knees and my ankles, my hips, my shoulders and my arms. If there's relaxation anywhere. And next, with my arms and hands still pointed up in the air, I bring my right foot in front of me and my left foot behind me. And I bend my right knee and straighten my left leg. And I try to go as low, bending my right knee as much as possible. And I maintain this pose, again, breathing comfortably and naturally and respecting the limits of my body. I notice the sense of balance or the changing sense of balance I'm having, the tension and the stretching and the relaxation in the different parts of my body. And now, with my legs where they are, I bring my arms down to about shoulder height, and my right arm should be aligned with my left arm pointed directly out. And I rotate my torso so that my right hand is pointed directly in front and my left hand is pointed directly behind me. And I try to align my arms and my shoulders as much as possible so that they're like a pole. And I try to make my torso erect so that I'm not leaning forward or backwards. And I'm maintaining this position and I'm being with the sensations of my body. I notice where there's tension and stretching and where there's relaxation. Now I bring my left foot forward and my right foot behind me. And again, I bend my left knee and I straighten my right leg. And I lower my stance as much as possible. And now I twist my torso so that my left hand and my left arm are pointed ahead of me, and my right arm and hand are pointed directly behind me. And I try to align my arms and my shoulders so that it's straight like a pole, and I try to make my torso erect so it's not leaning forward or backwards. And I maintain this pose, noticing the sensations that I have and being with them, breathing comfortably and naturally, not judging anything that I'm feeling as good or bad. Now I'm going to lie on the ground, and I lie flat on my back. But if my back bothers me, it's okay. I can make adjustments. I can put a pillow underneath my lower back or something like that. Or if it's just beyond the limits of my body, I can respect that and I can avoid doing this pose altogether. If lying on my back is okay, then I continue. I align my body so that from head to toe I'm straight and balanced. My knees are pointed up at the sky, as are my toes, and the bottom of my feet are pointed directly below me. And my arms I'm going to bring up to shoulder height, and my hands should be pointed directly out from me. My left hand directly to the left, and my right directly to the right, and my hands, arms, and shoulders should be aligned. Now I'm going to bring my knees up so that they're bent and pointed up at the sky, and the bottom of my feet are on the ground. And then I'm going to twist my waist so that my knees fall to my left side. And to the best that I can, I'm going to try to make my knees point in the same direction as my left hand. And I'm going to maintain this pose, breathing comfortably and naturally, and being with the sensations that I have, not judging them as good or bad, they're just there. And some parts will be tense, and some parts will be stretched, and other parts will be relaxed. And now I rotate my knees so that my back is still flat on the floor as much as it can be, and my knees are pointed in the same direction as my right hand and arm. And again, my arms and shoulders are aligned as much as they can be. I'm breathing comfortably and naturally, and I'm being with the sensations that I'm having. And I'm noticing if there are any areas of relaxation, stretching. And when I'm ready, I straighten my knees and I bring my feet together and I bring my arms and my hands to my side. And again, I align my body so that it's straight from head to toe and it feels balanced. And now I just relax. I'm not trying to stretch or make anything tense, and I am with the sensations of my body in this position. And I breathe comfortably and naturally. Right now, I've done my best to release any tension or stretching in any part of my body. But still, I may not feel completely relaxed everywhere. And I notice this. I'm with those sensations. I know the parts of my body where it still feels like there's something going on. I just let myself be with those sensations and I don't try to change them. I don't say they're good or bad. They're just there. And now I've come to the close of this exercise. And as I get ready to get up and resume the activities of my day, I reflect on what I've just done. I spent an extended period of time moving my body into various poses, but paying attention to the sensations that I had in those poses. And I simply let myself be with those sensations. And I realize that I can bring this sort of mindfulness to the other parts and events of my life wisely and skillfully.